All right, guys, how you doing? Welcome to this week's edition or this month's edition of Double K's UFC 207 review. It's the second review I've done this month because this was the second pay-per-view. Opening match was the catchweight bout, 129 and a half pounds. Ray Borg, I would say, dominated Louis Smolka. Ended up winning the match by unanimous decision as it went a full 3 rounds. These were two guys that definitely went at each other, and I would say Smolka got in a couple of good shots, but Borg just pretty much dominated him for 3 entire rounds to get the unanimous decision. Next up was a fight. It was a fight that I considered a match of the night candidate, but not necessarily a match of the night. All right, in a welterweight bout, we had Dong Young Kim defeat Tarek Seferdine by split decision. It's a very close match, but I didn't really see at any point Seferdine take control of the fight, so to speak. Most of the time, he was under control by Young Kim, and I don't know. I just don't see it as a split. It should have been unanimous for Kim, but evidently one judge saw it differently and thought that Tarek put up a good enough of a performance in order to at least get the consideration for the victory. This was a great match. Like I said, went all 3 rounds, was settled by split decision. So it led us into a night where 4 out of the 5 matches that took place tonight took place or finished with a split decision. The next fight was probably the most exciting of all of those. The matchup between Dillashaw and Linker was billed to be one of the best of the night, and it definitely lived up to that expectation as Dillashaw ended up defeating Lineker, or I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I probably butchered it like 15 different times. But sorry about that. But he beats him by unanimous decision, and really Dillashaw dominated all 3 rounds. The other guy really didn't even look like he came to fight, to be honest with you. But overall, it was a great move for Dillashaw. He should be contending for that bantamweight title that was decided on in our next matchup. All right, that matchup was a matchup that I label the 5 rounds of doom for Dominic Cruz, as he was just dominated 4 out of 5 rounds by Cody Garbrandt and defeated by unanimous decision. One of the rare times that I've ever seen a championship change hands by decision. Most championships change hands by some kind of finish, whether that be knockout or submission or stoppage. But this time, even though there were a couple of times in the 4th round and a little bit in the 3rd that were both dominated by Garbrandt, where I thought that they could have called the fight and it would have made sense. But Dominic Cruz just kept getting back up and kept fighting, so they kept him in there, and wow. So yeah, dominant victory for Garbrandt, the new face of the bantamweight division. Probably will be facing off against Dillashaw sometime soon. The former bantamweight champ should look to get his shot fairly soon. All right, so that's it for this matchup, and that led us to our main event of the evening. And in a main event that lasted only 48 seconds, Amanda Nunes knocks out Ronda Rousey by KO. Rousey just looked stiff. She looked out of place. She just looked like someone who really didn't want to be there, so to speak. She kept walking into punches, and at the point in which the ref stopped the fight, it was for mercy, because Amanda Nunes was lighting up Ronda Rousey and probably would have done some damage to her brain had she continued to hit her the way she was hitting her. So overall, I give this pay-per-view probably like B+, A-. It was a great finish, but 4 out of 5 fights finishing in decision. Even as good as the fights were, just kind of dragged down my rating of the fight. I told you I like finishes, whether they be KO punches, KO kicks, submission, whatever. I like finishes, and when you give me 4 out of 5 decisions, I'm kind of unimpressed. That's it for this month. See you next month for UFC 208. Holman, forgot the other young lady's name, fighting for the first ever featherweight division title. This has been Double K. Catch me on The Classroom every other Friday night, and we're on West Coast Bias on Sundays. I'll check y'all out later.